Hello everyone, glad to see you here. So in this video I would like to go through the semi-final games of the experimental OhMyGo Blitz tournament between Ali Jabarin and Benjamin Guénaïzia. I thought it would be nice to do this video because the AI board wasn't working during the semi-final. So in this video we will go through all of the games, but very fast, and I will just show the highlights and the decisive moments of the games. By the way, the second semi-final and final is going to be played this weekend, 1st and 2nd February, starting from 6 o'clock Central European time, so tune in to cheer with us. Alright, so let's go to game 1. So I will just show the fuseki because it's interesting. So Ben is black and Ali is white. So apparently they played this fuseki many times against each other on tournaments. So just something interesting to know, I guess. And also the game starts quite even, but black gets ahead after white's too ambitious move of closing this black group here. But as usual, it depends if it works or not. And in this case, black's countercut here seems very strong. White has to come back, black gets to extend. And I mean, this shape looks just beautiful, whereas this connection is very painful. And still, this group is super weak now, so white has to take care of it somehow. And that allows black to play this attachment, thanks to which he manages to create a knight, kind of like escape with the group and even jump with the middle stones. So white basically didn't accomplish much. Just created a problem for himself, right? And it's not a huge problem, of course, and black still has to be careful about the group, but it was not a good sequence. I think mainly having to connect here is painful. So this was too much, and white should have played here, but it's not like terrible, let's say 6-7 points, maybe a bit more for black. So then the game continues for a while, and white manages to apply quite some pressure on black. And we will skip this and go directly to the main point of this game. And that is now. So let's just take some time to check what happened. So black finally lived with his group. Now this is 100% alive. But white managed quite okay also in this game. Like this group there is some little agi, but can either connect through here or through here, let's say. And this group seems also a little bit weak, but black's shape here is also not clear, so it's more or less okay. But black managed to squeeze and kind of flatten this top left territory. And if we really look at the board position, white doesn't have that much territory. Like there is like 15 points here, let's say, something here, maybe 20 points, I'm just guesstimating. And of course, komi, that's always huge. But black is not doing so badly himself. Assuming he's alive here, which he probably is, there is something, but mainly this quarter of the board looks like it's under black's influence, and white really needs to erase love from it. And especially since there is some little agi or some sente moves in this area and this group is not really alive, it seems very difficult. But so you can try to think of how you would approach this. I think this is quite the masterpiece from Ali and how he handles it. Well, he starts by playing this move, and this is a question. How are you going to answer? And I'm ready for anything. Black can answer in many ways, but white will be able to adapt. For instance, black can just play here, but then white can most probably peep and play this one, and he will live quite comfortably. It doesn't mean that it's bad for black, because he will probably keep the bottom side, but suddenly he also doesn't have much territory and he didn't get to attack. In the game, black decided just to close the corner, a non-contact move, because he wants to attack this stone. And I felt like this was going to be hard for white. I also would have played like this. If white jumps, black connects, and then you are just running, and black will eventually maybe exploit this weakness, for instance. But Ali had something else prepared to this answer, and it was this attachment. We were speaking about white groups being weak, but actually these 3 stones and these guys, this little snake, also not so healthy. So this attachment is very decisive, especially with this stone. So what happened in the game is that black played this honey and this atari and extended it, but then white played this atari and cut off these stones, which is quite a big gain, right? And then we expected black to play here, and still, like, the situation is probably good for black because this bottom side is very big. I mean, this quadrant is very big, right? But most probably this kind of agi is very difficult to handle for black. Even something like this, I don't exactly know how, but yeah, it looks suspicious. So in the game, black added a move, and white still got to invade here after this gain. So this is still going to be a fight to the death, because, I mean, this is quite deep. But white is handling the situation very well. So what could black do here? It's a nice idea, but very difficult to find in this time setting. It would be to extend here. So most probably white doesn't want to play just simply this way now, because there is this problem. So white would block, and then black would just play this simple but elegantly looking move, enclosing white inside. So white will still invade here, and there is a lot of agi in this area, but probably it would be a bit more difficult for white. So anyway, in the game white attached. Maybe black could have pincered, but it's quite hard when you have this kind of move center, this kind of clamps, so he just answered. White exchanged this honey, then played this stylish peep. It's the common shape on how to peep this shape, because this way this stone has an extra liberty compared to this peep. And then, black attached from up, but white honey, and he got this atari in center. And enclosed. Black played this vital point, and now it can still be quite tricky for white. For instance, black has this honey and he can cut, and still, like, probably white will live, but the profit is not bad, and still the group is not 100% alive with some fake eyes, etc. So that's what black was aiming for. But white played this cool tesuji, and black cannot descend because he would just be captured. So he had to kind of fall back to this plan, but white managed to live locally, and thanks to this tesuji cut, he even managed to live in center. So going from this position to this position, I think it was white's masterpiece, and he rightfully won this game. So the game 2 was the most eventful game, with the most, I would say, local interesting fights. So we will probably spend the most time in here, but don't worry, we will compensate it on basically not looking on game 3. So Ben is white and Ali is black. And it starts slowly, this pincer, why not exchange this? And quite an unusual double jump. I'm not familiar with this move. I of course know it in this circumstance when it's low, but when you think about it, like, why not? Even when it's high, you are even one line further. So looks like an okay idea. Black played here, and white played this attachment and peep. So it looks like these stones are not communicating each other, but at the same time the shape is quite sexy, I would say. And it's a little loss in Katago, but maybe Ben studied it, because after this shoulder hit, it's not easy for black to punish it. Like, you would have to cut here, but white would extend, and then you have to push a lot from behind, but then you get cut, and then you play here, but it's very complicated what I studied. So black just pushed from downstairs, and white fixed this shape. And suddenly when you look at it, okay, black made this ponuki, but Here it's quite low and white's shape looks fantastic. And this is even. So even though it was looking like a funky combo, ends up even. So that's nice. The game continues slowly. Black plays here, gets pincered and invaded here. Why not? White counterpunches. And now what to do? So these situations in the corner are very, very complicated, right? You can attach and play this immediately. You can start by peeping. You can just jump. But if you just jump, it's like lackluster. This is not how you want to present yourself to the world. So Ben came with this OhMyGo, which is quite commonly played, but will be questioned in this video. Later, white played here, black attached and played this. So I think black did this exchange to break some ladder that was working, but yeah, not sure if it was the best idea. Perhaps, like, if you don't want to be lame, you could play this double jump, be inspired by this Nick and Toby. But yeah, anyway, this happened. And this happened, and white played here, black played this Hane and this hanging connection. It's usually a good idea to play this way, but maybe not now, because after this Atari and connect, this move is not Sente. Whereas if you would play here, then white has to play from down because of the clamp, since there is not the Atari. And then you play this, and something like this starts to feel like shape for black and applying pressure. I think this variation looks quite nice. But it's okay, this happened. And now we get to the, what I would say, most interesting situation in the whole series, for me, because I learned a very beautiful move. So now you can really worry on how to settle this T-shape. Like, you can play here like before, but how do you explain to your grandma that you made this exchange when she asks you, what is it helping you? So it's not really possible. I think you can play here, this Keima. It looks okay, a bit better shape. Or you can peep here as Ali did. But you wanted to attack these two stones, right? And now you play a contact move, which would definitely help them. So it feels a bit unsatisfactory. And here is the move that I learned. I think it's absolutely beautiful. If you think about it during the video, like, respect. Black can just play this simple one space jump. To me this feels like art, because it's basically doing the same as this peep, kind of getting eyes, but since it's not a contact move, it's much harder to answer. For instance, if you play here, then you just get cut apart. Just cannot play like this. You can split this way and feel like, haha, I will do it in Sente. But if you start to someday attacking black, he has this peep, which is kind of Sente, and then he can, for example, connect like this. So it's not easy, and if you just connect, then black can still exchange this and go out, but he already got this block, which is quite a nice advantage, right? So I think this move is absolutely beautiful. If you found it, you should become professional. So this happened, then white blocked, and Ben here is playing very artistically, like ignoring these stones, but playing the correct shape. And playing the shape, and Ali wants to be forceful too, so he blocked. Maybe he could just kind of withdraw, but no. Then white again plays a beautiful move, but black cuts. And this situation, I wasn't sure at start for whom is it good for, because you are like, ah, there is still ko, etc. But black played elsewhere, and I mean, black protected, and white still added this move, and actually, it's like white lived in the corner, so stole a lot of points, connected kind of these guys, or helped them. It's a very good sequence for white, and he's now quite ahead. So Ben is leading, but the game is not over. So black played here, why not? And then white played this masterful move. So now I will show you the whole sequence, and think about, like, how good is it for white, or if it's better for black. So black attached, white Hane aggressively, bump, peep. So it looks like he's dying, but there is actually this tesuji because black cannot disconnect because this is self-atari. So played this one, stole all of black's territory. So who do you think gained by this sequence? So surprisingly, black gained a lot, and now the game is even. If I recall correctly, it's like 8-point minus for white. And why is that? Well, because now black is quite strong here, strongish, but white ended up in gote, in quite the crucial phase of like still middle game. There are like still very big points to play. And yes, white destroyed black territory, but take for example in the endgame, if you play like this for white, and black plays tenuki, you can still cut here, and this stone is captured because block. So basically, even this endgame, I mean, it's very small territory. If you have to add a move here, then maybe if you are lucky, you pressure it somehow. So it's not that many points, but you lost sente for, basically this is like the sente variation for white. In the game, it's the gote variation, and it's not much better. So that was interesting. And then the decisive fight of the game happens here, where Ali quite forcefully tries to double hane and put pressure on white's shape, but and plays here. And now it seems like black has so many cuts, and it's true that the sequence is probably not working very well for black, but it's not so easy to find. Like white would have to cut this way, now there is some ladder, then maybe this cut, but still, even if this happens, it's some kind of compensation, so it's playable. In the game, white played this wedge, which is fine, and cut here, but we had this tesuji prepared, saying that if you play here, I will just underconnect and play this ko. So actually this is what white should have done. Play this kind of ko, black would take, white would extend, then black would cut here, white get this exchange and captures these two stones, and actually black managed to live here in center because this cannot be right connected, so you manage to make the two eyes, no need to exchange this, and protects here, but overall this sequence is not so spectacular for black because he lost center, white managed to make some territory, everything is kind of fixed, and he will get the first move to play here. But in the game, Ben extended, which is a decisive move, and it leads to a ko, right? Like white cannot connect because he would be captured, so it's quite a big ko for all of these groups. But it's so big that it's hard to lose for black. And this is it, still a ko thread, he captured, and unfortunately there is one more ko thread here, and black managed to take. And even though this looks like a big compensation, it's actually not captured, it's still a ko. And thanks to the ko, black captures the corner back, so he basically got two things, white got just one thing, and it's lost. So this was the story of the second game. Now let's fly through the third game. I said we will not comment it too much. It's not, I think it was probably like if you would analyze the quality of moves, like how compared to katago, how is the deviance and stuff, you would probably say this game was the best, but usually good games are not so interesting to watch. I mean, this was a calm game, so some cut happened, and the most interesting things happens at the start, and it is this. So black plays this vital point, which is, seems like this snake is being tortured. So you can think again how you would solve this. Ali found the practically best variation. Just push, push, exchange this, and pincer. So maybe black should play here, but it's okay. And this move is very smart. Of course, black can capture these two stones, but nobody gives a damn, right? This group is alive, this group is alive. So this is a very good feeling move. So yeah, black approached here, and white again starts a very interesting fight, because this group, I mean, it's still not settled, right? If black adds a move here, you have to protect it, and you can imagine worrying about this group, I believe. So white tries to solve it and plays very, like, forcefully, like disconnects, plays a good shape, and black plays this empty triangle, and it leads to this variation where white managed to break through the side and got a bit stronger, but no big harm was done. He had to lose center, so that's the loss of this sequence for white compared to the loss of territory for black. Let's say it's evenish. And yeah, from this point, like, black invaded, and the group started to chase each other. So black has these two, white has these two. I assume if you would have to imagine how it will go on from here, probably something like this is to be expected. Everything kind of lived. White managed to keep this territory, black gained a bit here, but white got this from it. And the game is quite even. It would have been a half-point game had white played here. Apparently this is a bigger move than this, because this really got way smaller and it was in center for black also. So black got a bit here and he managed to keep his lead in the endgame. So Ben won this game, making the score of the series 2-1 for Ali, but fighting back. Now in game 4, Ali is black and Ben is white. This pincer, this attachment, and white just played it simply, pushed, pushed, pushed and pincered, why not? Black escapes, white tries to destroy the shape, but black is okay. Pressure, pushing here, adding a move, peeping. So this peep, you can answer by blocking here. Seems like the normal move to make. But white found this hanging connection, which also connects the group, right? Because it protects against this, right? It's connected. So, and it allows him to enter the corner later, like better endgame, also make eyes. Very smart move. But black has this forcing move, and now you can think of how to connect this. And I've said this on this YouTube channel, I think many times, that it's not difficult to play nice shape moves. What is really hard in Go is to play ugly moves when they are right. And that's exactly what Ben did here, played this double empty triangle. What a time to be alive. But it actually makes a lot of sense, because if black plays Tenuki, you can underconnect with the group, right? So black can disconnect like this or like in the game. But then what happened is that white got center. In the game he managed to exchange this endgame and then add this move. If he would have only played here, then maybe black will get the first move here, or for sure he will play somewhere else, not there, right? So it's a very, very good move. Actually, Katago would still prefer to play here, because it says that in the game this move also has a huge value. So it's like white got center, but the fact that black can underconnect here is big as well. So yeah, but very nice. You can take a look of what Ben thought about this move, how sure he was of it, in this web camera snippet. I mean, yeah, it looks that Ben is still quite a healthy human being. You have to question this no matter what. But well played, and then black approached here. So here I would like to apologize to Ali, because I said that he played this move because he wanted to make the game simple. It's a for sure okay move, but I would bet that it's better to approach the Komoku. Usually AI screams about this. But in this situation, this is the blue move. I guess in some distant universe, these guys could still be weak, so this is helping them a little bit. So good feeling by Ali, as you would expect. White played here, black played there, closed, jumped, peeped, jumped, and black just simply enclosed the territory. It's quite a big move. So now they could bury the war axis and have a peaceful game. For instance, with this one space jump, it would be a game decided in endgame probably. But Ben decided not to slack off, but to apply pressure on this black group with this shoulder hit. It's a slightly questionable move, as black can always underconnect here later. But it feels good. Or naive, who knows? Let's see the fight. So they cut each other, and now it gets a little bit messy. So white actually managed to exploit black's weaknesses quite nicely, and black is under some small pressure, at least if we are speaking about shape. So white jumped, black collects these white stones and solves the bottom group definitively. But now these guys are under pressure. And the way how black solves this problem is kind of a masterpiece in itself, I would say. So if I were black, I would probably just jump here because it feels like what else can I do? But then, I mean, even if white just adds a move here, the top side is quite big and this group is almost alive, right? But probably white would find some harder way to still harass black here and torture him. So black played this attachment. Of course, his dream is of white just answering like this, then he would probably jump and he's solving this group very lightly. But white will not do that, right? He will forcefully split the black groups, and now you could be thinking like these guys are actively killing these guys, right? It's a mutiny, a coup. And yeah, to me it looked like a horrible direction of play. But yet again, we see that Ali's feeling is quite good because it's possible to play in this way. So after this connection, black jumped once to add some more agi, and then peeped and extended here. So in itself, this is quite a big gain for black, right? If you compare it with the variation I was showing that white eventually gets this, it's quite big. So it's a big gain. And now black extends, white tries to capture. And if black kept his cool and just extended here and jumped, white would probably need to add a move, and black still gets this. So yeah, we sacrificed quite some territory, but this gain and solving all of the problems, it would be an even game. So this was actually quite a masterpiece technique. In the game, black tried to save these guys. I mean, not tried, he probably saw what was going to happen, and he decided to go about it the other way around, sacrificing these guys, but thanks to that saving these, and it's exactly what happens. And he still got this schema, so all in all, it was a fair fight. The game is about even. Perhaps this move could have been played here, and then white has a small advantage, but it's hard to estimate what will happen in this fight, so it's quite understandable to play here, especially in this time pressure, right? So black played there, white plays here, and this is where it gets messy, because after these exchanges, black still needs to add a move here, and perhaps he was so sure this group could underconnect anytime that he forgot about it a little, because after this exchange and this block and being disconnected, there is too little space and black just cannot live with this group. So this was a huge overplay and blunder by Ali. Instead, like, there are many ways to solve it, but if you just you know, put your ears down and accept this little suffering, black is fine, white gets cente, and it's an end game. But like this, unfortunately, this group cannot be saved, and after a few moves, black resigned. I think it's quite a nice ending that actually this guy won the game because it helped to kill this group, or at least it was killed in the area of this masterful Tesuji, so a well-deserved win by Ben. And it was nigiri again. Ben drew black and Ali white, so the Fuseki was kind of normal. White decided to kind of give up the top left corner and get other moves. It's completely possible to play in this way. This schema feels nice. And overall, nothing spectacular. I mean, it looks quite interesting, but nothing to comment in this fast format. Now, this following up fight is a bit confusing, but it ends up even, so yeah, it's fine. White exchange this, tenukis, black plays this vital point, white kicks. And now we have to stop here for the first time in this game. Where would you play? So it feels like these guys deserve some help after all of the effort they've put in. But it's not so easy. Like, the normal move you would play is this one space jump, but there is still the potential of cut. Not immediately, I think, at least later, but there is still agi. So it kind of feels bad to play a move that doesn't 100% fulfill its purpose. Maybe you could play some kind of strange kosumi, but it's too depressive, and still there is going to be some agi, I'm pretty sure. So White decided to play tenuki and just gamble the fact that they will somehow manage it. But it's interesting what happened. So in the post-game commentary, Ali said he was thinking, and of course this last match is played with the Ultra Blitz format, 1 minute plus 3 seconds increment. So he was thinking of whether he should block here or whatever. And then suddenly he heard 1, meaning he had 1 second left, the countdown voice. He says, well, so he had to click. So that's why he played this funny looking move. But it's not too bad, you know, it could be here, no? He just clicked where his mouse was. So black divided. And now the game gets very complicated because black tries to attack this white group, but it's not so easy, and white is showing his sharp teeth and is cutting black. And yeah, many moves can be discussed. It looks very abstract, and I would be very scared as black. So it feels like this group actually managed quite well. So maybe this direct attack was too much. Maybe it was better to wait with it, just invade here or take the corner. But why not? It continues, and one of the decisive points will be here. So black pushes and pushes again, and now black can cut here. It is a move I would definitely play, because since you have no time to calculate, it really feels very scary for white. Because if you play the Atari from this side and it doesn't work, then the game is just over. So maybe even if I lose the game and the match, I would be curious to know if Ali is the type of player that would play this Atari. What do you guys think? Would he? Well, maybe if he calculated, I mean, he blocked here, he extended here, so it feels like he wants to save it. So he would probably do it. But I would like to see it, you know, on the board. And if it happened, and white played from this side, it's a turbo good for black. Like plus more than 10 points. But if white plays here, it's actually working, and it's not that hard to count, I guess, because this peep and this bamboo is just working very well. All of these black, I mean, probably die, you would guess, when reading this in so little time. So black would play here, white would cut, this is exchange, puff, puff, and it's some kind of evenish variation, because white has center, so he can somehow salvage this corner. It's an exchange, the game would continue about even. So it was actually working for Ali. Still black should do this, but he played this peep because in the commentary he said he was afraid of this wedge, but it's not really working. So it was a mistake, but from Ben's point of view it doesn't matter, because if white protects, I get to cut later. If white protects here, then I get to cut immediately. But Ali came with a brilliant counter peep here. And it's quite scary to play tenuki because, you know, it doesn't really have too many eyes, this group. Maybe there are even some sharper variation, like just blocking here. Not sure, but black decided to answer. The white came back. And now it's not possible to cut anymore because this exchange solved the cut. So it was an absolute masterpiece by Ali. But the game is still not over because if black manages to get out and break this line, it can be good for black. So this is just some exchanges and goes out. And then in the time pressure played here, which was quite a big blunder because so it's aiming to gain time in center and also like endgame. But actually, if black connects now, white group is alive. He doesn't need to add a move, so it would lose center, which is a massacre problem. So this was a big mistake, and black doesn't have time to come back here, so it's obviously a loss. But still, he gets to fight back here and goes out. And suddenly these guys look a little bit in danger as well. So Ali has to play this double honey. Black tries to go through. And white plays here. So now you could, if you want just to save yourself, you could capture this move. This is what I was expecting. But it's a bit slack because white would cut here. And these stones are captured, it's quite big. You can also cut here, trying to kill the group, but white can just extend. And again, if you want to be sharp, you will die here, so this isn't really working. But black still played it. White cut, and then black take this stone in center. And you could be thinking like, what was the point of playing here? Why did we give this ponuki to white? But actually, by doing this technique, black got center, because now there is not this cut, if you compare it to the variation where he would just take and white would cut. So this is a maybe not so difficult to think, but in this time, I mean, it takes time to realize. So very impressive. And then black cuts here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is unfortunately the losing move of the match. Because after this, white gets to connect and connect in center, protecting this weak point. Black gets to play this Atari and connect, but white extends. And black gets to connect here, and white gets center to cut. Black connected on neutral points, white kept his top territory, got these guys, and now he's just ahead on points. If you take a look at the board, white has Komi, this, oh, this is big, still something here, and black, only some remainers left. You can hope for something here, but there is also Aji. Yeah, it's just black is too much behind. But he actually had a sequence in which he would have had a chance to continue. Can you find it? Well, the key point is to cut here first. White cannot protect from this side because this extension captures this boomerang-shaped group. So he would need to play here. But then you get to capture this stone. And it's key that you got this move, you know, to get this Atari. And okay, white gets to underconnect if he wants to. But not only that black gets to save this, but there is also a lot of Aji for white whole group dying. So perhaps he will need to, I don't know, cut here now. But then, if you compare it to the game, like the point-wise, right, it's a huge difference. So, yeah, this was black's big chance. Unfortunately, after this, it's no chance. Ben fought till the end. I think white won by 12.5 at the end, so he tried his best, but couldn't bridge this gap. And Ali won this game. It was a great match. After the two games where Ali looked very dominant, we were afraid of a clean sweep 3-0, but Ben also fought back very nicely. So if you enjoy this tournament, I hope to see you on Saturday and Sunday. Both days the games will start at 6. The stream will start 15 minutes before that, 5:45 p.m. So that we can set up everything. So I hope to see you there. And yeah, have a good one. Till then. Bye bye!